Everyone, I'm sitting here with Kris, lead singer of Empire and Dive Bomb. Pretty cool. Kris.
It's good to be here.
So, how did you become the lead singer of both bands?
I've been doing music for a long time, and basically I've always been in a band since I was very little. I mean, I had a hardcore band when I was like 11.
Wow.
So it's always been in a band.
And hardcore band meaning that it was...
Punk rock.
Punk rock.
Sure. Punk rock was like the first music that was sort of like my scene. I was like a tap dancer singer when I was very young, but the first like musical scene I got into was like punk rock.
So when you started out dancing, how old were you?
Dancing, 5, and it wasn't really cool in school, so that's where punk rock came in. Because when you went in, hey Mr. Banjo, the kids were beating me up.
They didn't, but I'm sure today they appreciate it because you're quite a success with all that you're doing. You've traveled all around the world. Where are some of the places that have really grasped your vocals?
My vocals, a lot of stuff in New York City, Massachusetts, Connecticut, but I've traveled around the world, Puerto Rico.
You've been to India, you told me earlier.
I went to India, I recorded in India, which was a wild experience. I actually did a show with 3 million people in India with Bill Clinton, Lenny Kravitz, Peter Gabriel, 3 million people. And actually on stage, it didn't look like that much because it was a dirt ground. And there was all this like dirt in the air, but the stage was huge. It actually was like a little overwhelming.
Wow, I can imagine. 3 million people watching you sing.
Wow.
The pressure wasn't on that.
Really? I mean, I usually, like for a show like that, 3 days out, I get really nervous. But when it comes time to get on stage, I've just been doing it since I was 5. And so what I love to do is like my orgasm, you know, it's like...
And you're always singing, because before we actually came on camera, you were singing. When you first got out of your car, you were singing.
I am a song sung long ago.
We're sitting at the Stone House in East Granby. You have a big party outside with your music playing. People have just gathered amongst a big bonfire and just hanging out. And is this the typical scene for what you do?
It's really, I hope we get to take a walk outside and take a look at what's happening out here. When I was very young, I got into TV, I got into movies, and really the thing that became sort of my niche is bringing people together. You know, I started doing shows in New York City, and New York City is a very beatnik, you know, a creative place where I was brought up with. And there's something really magical about bringing people together in creative and artistic communities. And if we go outside and take a look today, you know, people's faces are painted, people are on stilts, people are going to be juggling fire.
There's fire being blown into the air. That's why our studio here is...
But I've been doing that since I was little. Like, you know, I'd always like, when I was little, I used to tell my friends, hey man, let's dress up, and be like, nah, they'd be like watching TV or whatever. Let's do something weird. Let's get dressed up and go freak people out or something like that. And really, that's where art came from for me. Is like, I always wanted to perform. Yeah. When I was very little.
Yeah. And you're still performing. Who inspired you to sing? And growing up, who inspired you to continue singing?
Growing up, my mother. My mother wanted to be a country singer. My grandmother, her mother would not allow her to be a singer, and it made her very sad. So basically, by the time I was 5, her life was about holding a spotlight above my head. So I always performed for my mom. And Mom was my biggest fan and definitely the inspiration. Just always sort of pushed me towards performance. And she passed away when I was young, so really that spirit of Elaine, my mother was Elaine, definitely came through me, and sort of pushed me out to be a creative and an expressive person.
And how about musically? Who did you idolize as a kid growing up?
Idolize, I don't think it was individuals. I think it was melody. You know, I was brought up on country music. I wasn't allowed to listen to anything but country music. And I think it's the feeling. You know, anybody who, they can make me feel it, you know, whoever, whether it be I have such an eclectic style of either presenting music or listening to music that I think from anything from country to rock to jazz to opera, if I can feel it right down inside me, it's not even about an individual, it's about that feeling you get.
And if you could sing to us a melody, what melody would that be? Could you sing it?
I told you that this world's gone crazy, baby. Gets crazier every day. Man, it just amazes me, the crazy things people say. Spider-Man, he can't save you now. Said, Batman and Power Man are way across town. So I told you that I'd be right by your side when your world goes crazy. I told you that I'd be right by your side.
Very nice.
That's a song called Spider-Man off my solo CD. It actually was playing so well ago.
Yeah, I recognized it when you were singing it.
It's my first, So Close is my first really attempt at doing something outside of band. Like I said, I've always been in a band. I've always been, like the bands are like my family. I was an orphan when I was very young, and by the time I'm very early, getting in with a group and sort of expressing that way is always sort of not my thing. But I do like endeavors where it's just me and a piano player, or me and writers or whatever. I like that too. But bands, I sort of like my family.
What's your favorite song that you perform?
My favorite song that I perform, man, I don't even know. I've written so many songs in my life. My favorite song, I don't know. I have no idea. I have so many different songs. Yeah, man. It's the same thing as who's my favorite performer.
Right.
Basically, if I can feel it, and I definitely feel it when I perform. I just love to be a song. Singing is a time for me when my crazy mind shuts off. It's a time when there's nothing, all the crazy stuff that's happening in my life just gets shut off.
How do you do that? How do you just shut everything out and off?
It's a privilege, man. It's like meditation. I meditate every day, and singing is like meditation. It's like there's no mind involved. Because once the mind gets involved, you actually start messing up. Like I told you that this. If I think about it, I'm screwed. Once I start thinking about what's the next word, but very naturally, the melody and the lyrics are within me. If I just practice it.
Practice makes perfect. So when you write your music, is there a certain outline that you go about, or how does that work? How do you write music?
Written in so many different situations. Can sit down at a piano, write the bass notes, then put a melody over it. A band can show me their music, I put the melody over it. I can show a band my melody, they put music over it. I've done it so many different ways. It's like so many ways. Like I said, it's all about feel. If you feel it, it's about that.
When you're writing your music, how does that work? Do you hear a phrase, or do you see an object that then makes you think of words to conjure them together?
When I usually write, and actually I think this might be a curse or a blessing, because somebody talked to me about writing a script for a movie, because I'm involved in some movies in the West and in the East. They talked to me about a script. And when you watch a movie, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. It's like an art to writing a movie script. And I told them, I said that it's not my forte, because even songwriting a lot of times I come up with a premise, what my song is about, but then my songs end up being about 23 different things. Like they end up being about images I see as I'm writing, then it comes back to the original scene, then it's just like all over the place. I'm not a very, here's what the song's about, that's what it's about to the end. It's actually sort of like even a journey for me. I love all the processes of music. I love writing, I love recording, and I love performing. And writing is a cathartic process, and it's definitely a process, just like performing is. Like I'll sit, I'll write the whole thing, then I'll edit it, throw that piece of it out, write it again. And it's usually about all these different situations and themes.
Did you write about life experience?
Written about everything, man. I've written about everything from, you know, people getting murdered to just about everything. You know, for me, a song, I love songwriting. Like songwriting, like I said, performance, writing, and recording are the three beauties of the whole thing. And writing is definitely like really getting in there and having another chance to write my Let It Be, my Stairway to Heaven, my, you know, composition is just so, you know, and there's no framework. Like people say there's some type of, oh, you can only do this, you can only do that. It's complete freedom. You know, it's whatever you want. I mean, there's only a certain amount of notes on the keyboard, but how you put them together can be unique. You have your chance to, you know, make your stamp on history.
That's a great way to explain it. Kris Keys, now you're based out of San Diego.
I'm based out of Hollywood, San Diego. I do a lot of playing in Hollywood right now, playing a lot on the Sunset Strip. San Diego is really beautiful, but it's really happening at the Sunset Strip, like a lot more music business, a lot more networking, connecting, happens at the Rainbow Room, the Whiskey, the Viper Room, Key Club, House of Blues. You know, we were talking earlier about like, before we're on camera, about like just being in the rock scene and being and expressing, and I'm right in the middle of the function right there, and I love it. The craziness, man.
The craziness, and
that's beautiful.
It's a great thing.
Well,
it's a great thing to be crazy.
Yeah!
Kris Keys, everyone. And where are you off to next?
I'm off to, tomorrow, I'm filming a movie called Sensory Perception, where I play the main bad guy, Al Signore, Pale Nail Productions. Dave Gear is a producer, and that's actually why one of the main reasons I flew back out east is because I'm involved in that, Sensory Perception. Tuesday, I'm filming, no, first I'm in the studio again, then that's in the afternoon, then nighttime I'm filming a music video off my solo CD called Father. Wednesday, back to Hollywood, and Saturday I'm opening up for Lita Ford in Hollywood at a really, really cool club, which I'm really excited.
You have a lot going on.
I love it, man. I'm a meditator. The type of meditation I do is like 8 hours of sleep in 20 minutes. And for me, there's no sleep till Bridgeport, man. It's like, for me, this is what I love to do. You know, sleep is when you're dead. I just basically, like right now, like you said, there's a wild scene outside. And right after we're done with this, we're going to go out and even get some shots of it. And it's going to exemplify what I've been doing since I was little. I basically gathering people together and bringing that artistic, expressive nature out of their self. And tonight, like the theme is fire. And when you light a fire, all the different flames are separate, but they actually dance together. And that's really beautiful. I love to choreograph. I love to direct music videos, even maybe direct movies one day, because I love that aspect of different people getting together and being expressive and becoming one through the art.
Now, outside, will you have the ability to sing?
Sure. I will sing for you.
Well, then, we are taking the show outside.
We're taking it outside.
We'll see you outside.
See you outside. And we're going to go see what's happening out there now.
Let's take a look.
It could be crazy.
Let's go. All right. You lead the way. I'm going to
right,
follow
brother.
you.
All right, man. Eric, tell them what you see around here, the madness, and I'm going to show you the process.
All blowing fire out of Thank you all for being here tonight. We're going to gather around Kris Keys as we celebrate his journey in music. Kris Keys, take it.
Let's go. Let's show them fire. In a world where insane, in a world where we can be free again, the brain said in a world where we can be free again. I am the prophet of the fire. Burn, baby, burn. Oh, burn, baby, burn. Said, baby, burn, baby, burn. Baby, burn, baby, burn. Said, baby, burn, baby, burn. Baby, burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. Do
Disco Inferno!
All right, everyone, that's a wrap. Kris Keys has a lot more work to do and more fire-burning ceremonies to lead forward. So, Kris, tell them what to do.
Hey, tune in to Talk Turcio. Check it out, man.